Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cuckoo. This is Nay, your host as usual, and I'm back at it again with these LA messages for help. Now, I'm going to tell you, I know that the large news sources are now coming out and they're starting to write articles on this and kind of giving the impression like, hey, it's no big deal. Um, let's see. For example, Los Angeles Times. You probably remember this image, but you can scroll through and read it if you choose. But basically, um, it says that this is something that's been going for years, and it's a homeless man who does this because he is a little bit deranged. Um, Now, I did actually, now I'm in Pennsylvania, but I did actually make some phone calls today. So I called um, the LAPD headquarters. Their voicemail box was full. Imagine that. So you can't leave a voicemail there. Their voicemail box is full. I called then a West LA phone number, and it said for non-emergency numbers, call, non-emergency is call such and such number. I called it, and it did that crazy squealing sound as if it's a fax machine, that wee 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 sound, like it's a fax machine. Couldn't get through on that line. I then called the LAPD Southwest Division, and somebody answered. And he was a very nice gentleman, and I guess he was the desk officer for the day. He said it's out of his jurisdiction, and he gave me a different phone number to call. And I called that number. You guessed it, they didn't answer. But they did have a voicemail. I left a voicemail. I haven't heard anything back yet. That was this morning around 11 o'clock. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning now, so I don't think that they're getting back to me today. So I called them at 11 o'clock this morning, and here now it's after midnight. So don't think I'll be hearing back from them today, obviously. Let's see if they do get back to me at all. Then I continued on after that. And I called Governor Newsom's office. It was Tuesday around 11 o'clock in the morning, so that was this morning. I called, and it said I have to call back during business hours Monday through Friday, and I think it was something like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I was definitely within the window of office hours that they have listed, but the voicemail said I was calling at the wrong hours and gave a little beep and hung up on me. So I then sent a message to the office under criminal justice, and just got the auto reply back saying thanks a lot, we received your information, you know and go from there. Then I called CTLA channel number 5 news station that's out of LA. I called them. The woman was very curt with me, and that was at about 11:25 this morning, and she just kept saying, we're on it, we're on it, we're on it. She wouldn't give any details. I thanked her for her time. I moved on. I then called KABC channel number 7, another news station. I don't know if they're out of LA or not. She said they did in fact investigate it. Well, what she said was that they called the LAPD and they spoke to somebody. Okay, let me backtrack one more time, because when I called and I asked her about it, she immediately said, that's an old image, referring to Google Maps. Now, can I tell you, this is verbatim exactly what I had heard on the recording through Static in the Attic whenever he had asked somebody, he had spoken to someone at the LAPD, and they very dryly said to him, that's an old image, like a brush off. She said it verbatim the exact same way, with the same tone of voice. It really gave me a sense like it was scripted. It made me very uneasy. It felt very scripted. Um, so she first said that, and then I said to her, well, we do have footage as of a couple of days ago that shows, that although Google Maps may not be up to date, the imagery that we're seeing is actually current and it's still there. She stumbled a little bit. Then she started explaining herself. She said that they did reach out to the LAPD. The LAPD told them that there wasn't anything to worry about, that there were, quote unquote, there was no evidence of the coercing of movement of peoples through this location, um, and no evidence of distress of peoples. At which point I said to her, would not signs of help being scrawled repeatedly into an area and other things that were there, would these not in fact be evidence? And she said, I can only tell you what I was told. We're told there's no evidence there of the coercion of the movements of peoples through this area. She then went on to elaborate that she was told this has been going on for a couple of years, where there's a homeless man who lives in the area, and I have to check my time here. Okay. That he was mentally unstable and would often go into this area and other surrounding areas, apparently, which I wasn't able to find on Google Maps, but would go into this area and still does and writes out these signs. So if I'm remembering correctly, that's everything that she had told me, and that was the last person that I spoke to today. At the end of it all, I'm not really satisfied, and I'm not really buying it. So of course I went back to the image and I looked all over it again. If somebody were trying to do that sort of thing, it really seems like that would very sadly and tragically be a place that it could happen, especially when you consider that the river is on one side, and so that creates a natural border that people wouldn't be able to run away. It would be more difficult to flee. You know, you get funneled onto the bridge, or you wouldn't be able to go that direction at all. And everything, all the other areas are pretty much covered with, you know, the the shipping yard and the junkyard. So, and the fact that it felt very scripted from what I heard from the audio recording of the police station and the one woman that I spoke to at KABC Channel 7, it sounded scripted to me. That. So, moving on. So there's that river border there. That means something to me. I know that the newscasters are coming out saying that this is the story, what I just told you, what the news lady told me. I'm not buying it, you guys. Are you? Is this something that are we done with this? It's just swept under the rug now? What's going on with it? So then I got to thinking, well, let me look at this on the ground level as much as possible. So I'm not from LA. I did a street view, and I ended up seeing this right here. Okay? I probably should have put other imagery up here for you guys to look at as I was talking. I'm new to this. So this is the Chavez Bridge. And this might not seem like a big deal. This archway here, there are actually 4 of them on this bridge that I could see when I got down to the street view level. This strikes me as an Arch of Baal. Now, if you know anything about Baal, which was a foreign deity, a demonic deity for those who are Christian, I look at this and that's what I see. Immediately up here, if you have eyes to see, you'll see the owl, which is actually a representation of Molech and not Baal, but the two are actually crossed over the ages, and even biblically speaking, there are mentions of Molech earlier on, like in the first 5 books or so of the Old Testament, and then later on it turns into Baal, but the worship is the same. It's, you know, atrocities being done to children and lots of inappropriate acts between adults going on, like bedroom Olympic type things with multiple partners all at once in worship of this particular deity. And when you have these types of things scrawled all over the place, and then on this bridge here is where they have the arches. There's one here, 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 and here. Maybe somebody's going to come out and say, they're there because they're aesthetically pleasing. Or maybe they'll say, it's there for some structural integrity of something. It doesn't have to have the owl on top. If you have the eyes to see, you see it. Okay? These are for Molech. These are arches of Baal. Which is, what I told you, the terrible things to children and the bedroom Olympics in regards to the adults and that sort of thing. And then right next to it, this is what's going on. It's trafficking through here. When you understand the spiritual nature of what the world really is and what people really are and where we came from and the possibility of the places that we can go, which side, so to speak, you're going to assimilate into whenever you pass away, whether you're going back to the Lord or whether you're going to the pit, whatever it is. When you understand that and you look at this, there's something monumentous here. There's something huge going on, spiritually speaking. I absolutely don't believe that this is just a homeless man doing this. If it is just him doing it, I personally believe, this is my opinion, but I personally believe that he has seen something, or he has repeatedly seen things, and I am not buying the story that this is nothing. I'm not buying that. Based on the location, the geography, the highways, the dark areas, uh, the scripted responses from those who are supposed to shed light on this information, and that quick shutting down of, it's an old image. Nobody wants to investigate it. I'm just not buying it, you guys. So you can look into who is Baal if you'd like. Unfortunately, my videos, I still have to keep them short. YouTube says I have to verify myself with a phone number. But when I try to do it, it says you're already verified. So maybe they don't like my content, you guys. What are you going to do? So this is an Arch of Baal, and I just want to point out like how prevalent this is. This is outside actually at Washington, D.C. It's been in New York. It's been in various places across the United States. See, this is some information on the Arch of Baal. Okay. Why is this what we always see cropping up across our country? Why isn't it the cross for Jesus Christ? Why is it this sort of thing and not that? It's because a lot of people don't know what it is, and the people at the top practice to other deities other than our Lord and Savior. So I have to wrap this up for the sake of time. I thank you a lot, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully we can get the ball rolling and getting more information on this. I don't want it to just disappear. I pray that the Lord keeps all of you and that you're safe and well and have everything you need. And you take care, guys.